Service to others is a fundamental part of who we are as full souls. Today, we'll examine how that can be some of the most meaningful karma we choose. Hi, I'm Corbie Mitleid, and this is the Psychic Yellow Brick Road. The world is changing, and life doesn't have the spark it used to. So we look around and ask, where do I need to go to catch the magic again? You've found it. Welcome to the Psychic Yellow Brick Road, a weekly podcast that delves into the intuitive world, metaphysics, life purpose, and how to connect with the compassion of spirituality. I'm Corbie Mitleid, and I've been on the Psychic Yellow Brick Road for 50 years. I'm a certified tarot master, past life specialist, psychic medium, channel, and author. And most importantly, I'm an elder in the field, ready to pass on everything I've discovered to you. So let's hit that Psychic Yellow Brick Road where you can find the real wizards and avoid the flying monkeys. Soul plans. Karma as service. Service is one of the biggest karmic lessons that people put in their pre-birth plan, and for good reason. Service can be given in dozens of different ways, some of which may not look like it on the surface. Light workers, those whose lives are primarily about service, are the clearest end of that part of the karmic spectrum. But souls can choose for themselves difficult lives, emotional roller coasters, poverty, addiction, trauma, and they too can be fulfilling a karma of service. How does that work? Well, service in its simplest form can be helping our fellows in a way that's easy to see. Someone who is a group leader for troubled teens has service karma. Someone who chooses to work in environmental conservation has service karma. So does a physician, or even someone who is a member of the royal household in England. But service can also be played out, served, if you will, through life challenges and occurrences that look nothing like service to the average pair of eyes. Here are some examples. I had a friend in Colorado many years ago who had twin boys, Mark and Leo. Leo was subject to abuse as a child and had a severe case of shaken baby syndrome. He was profoundly damaged in that violent event. Yet though he couldn't speak, couldn't do much for himself at all, the vibrant, shining soul was everywhere evident. All of his healthcare team remarked on how extraordinary Leo was. People who were afraid of illness, or who couldn't look at a handicapped person without revulsion, found themselves drawn to Leo, the usual distaste replaced by wonder and a feeling of connection. Leo could look at a person right down to their core with no judgment, just curiosity and welcome. People's lives were changed by interaction with Leo, a little lion if there ever was one. Leo's karma of service was performed by bringing people out of fear into love, out of revulsion into compassion. He also happened to be one of the finest teachers his physical therapy team could have had, somehow encouraging them to work with him a little longer, a little harder than they might with another child at his injury level. Even those who challenge us most fiercely, the people that may be thorns in our side or never letting us off the hook for certain things, can be of service, even putting their own soul growth aside to play a role that helps us fulfill our pre-birth planning. My client Janine's mother was a product of the South in the 1950s, believing that her role in life was to support her husband, raise her children, and never allow her own yearnings to conflict with her husband's. That included making money. She always reminded Janine, it's better to marry a millionaire than make your own money. It's not ladylike. Even though Janine did well with things like Girl Scout cookie sales and working a part-time job in high school, her mother told her that such things didn't amount to much, and she shouldn't believe it meant anything. She had succeeded because people felt sorry for her because she wasn't pretty enough for a rich man to marry. When Janine's mother was approached by a local food manufacturer regarding her gumbo recipe, which had garnered many awards statewide for over a decade, she not only refused to have her face or name on the label, but also had her husband, a factory worker, sign the contract, believing that for her to do anything of such an independent nature would overshadow him. As a result, when the parents divorced a few years later, What could have been a comfortable nest egg for Janine's mother was merely money that the father took as part of his settlement. Janine watched this and determined that the message was wrong, and became a patent and intellectual property attorney that specifically helps women and minorities to get the fair dealings they deserve. In this situation, not only was Janine's mother learning important lessons regarding self-worth, in pre-birth planning sessions, she and Janine also agreed that it would be pivotal to bring Janine into the service-oriented life she planned. Even an early demise can be part of one's service. Souls as different as Anne Frank, Nathan Hale, and Steve Biko, all of whom became famous for the circumstances surrounding their deaths and what they stood for while they lived, come in with the agreement and understanding that their deaths will be of service to those who seek to change the world in positive ways. My personal favorite example comes from Ryan White. Ryan was an average 13-year-old boy who, through a bad blood transfusion, contracted AIDS in 1984. This was in the very early days of the epidemic, when little was known about AIDS, and it was assumed that it was gotten through gay sexual contact. Ryan's entire family was made pariahs in their town. Ryan had to fight to be allowed to go to school. Yet somehow, in all this, they met Elton John, who was deeply moved by Ryan's compassion for others and positive attitude throughout the whole ordeal. He effectively adopted them and supported them throughout Ryan's illness. When Ryan died at age 18, Elton played at his funeral. Ryan's courage so stirred Elton that he went into rehab, getting off drugs and alcohol. And when he came out, he started the Elton John AIDS Foundation, which has raised over $500 million for AIDS research worldwide. Finally, only a few months after Ryan's death, the United States Congress passed the Ryan White Comprehensive AIDS Resources Emergency Act, called CARE, in August of 1990. Many people, thinking karma is bad and good, would have said, "Oh, see, Ryan must have been someone awful in a past life. Look at what happened to him now." But the truth is that Ryan's soul, his higher self, looked at the possibilities of that type of incarnation and said, "It's a tough life and a short one, but look at the good for the world that can come out of it." And so we see his life as one with a karma of service. Look at your own life carefully. Look with a non-judgmental eye at the people who have been in your life, even those who have brought the most difficulty with them. If you look carefully, you might find that these people came in with a karmic agreement of service for you, to help you attain your highest good. And when you are in difficulties, when you are having hard lessons to learn, realize that as you overcome them, you may be an example to others, thereby fulfilling a karma of service to them as well. Interested in discovering your own soul plan, with a detailed look at the past lives that are affecting you this time, and keys for moving ahead in this life with joy and fulfillment? Visit my sessions section, where the soul plan reading is described in full at CorbieMitleid.com. I've been guiding friends and clients since 1973. I love showing you opportunities and how to grab them, where the tough stuff is and how to get through it, and handing you your toolbox through tarot and oracle cards, past life exploration, spirit guides and angelic conferences, and mediumship. My website, CorbieMitleid.com, is full of articles, blogs, where to find me for live appearances, and where to listen to me as I guest on other podcasts. There's a full menu of readings, from short burning questions all the way up to the jewel in the crown, my soul plan readings, which are based on the work I did with Robert Schwartz. Whether it's general questions about your life in practical terms, romance readings, business consultations, discovering your sentence of passion, or digging into that single challenge that has run through your life, you can find the appointment that's right for you. You know, your opinion matters a lot. So if you enjoy this, take a few minutes to leave a review. Word of mouth is key with podcasts, so share it with others. And if you really want to help make the magic happen, go find me at Patreon.com. There's a tier called I Believe in You. And for just a couple of dollars a month, you can be an official roadie and help all the things I do. The podcast, the books, the classes, the videos, keep on coming. This has been Corbie Mitleid, and until next time, keep those ruby slippers polished, and I'll meet you on the psychic yellow brick road.